Hello, everyone, and welcome to English with a Friend from New York. I'm Anita, your friend from New York City, who will help you to ace the TOEFL. Today's TOEFL question is, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? It is more important for students to study art and literature than it is to study math and science. Provide reasons and examples to support your opinion. To answer today's TOEFL question, first let's talk about the importance of STEM and the humanities. In the United States, we use the term STEM to refer to the academic disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The academic disciplines of literature and the arts are referred to as the humanities.
Well, first of all, let me just say that I have been emphasizing STEM education, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, not because I think the humanities are unimportant, but because we generally have not been producing as many engineers and as many scientists and people with those kinds of technological skills as compared to China, for example. And we send a lot of people into banking and folks like me who become lawyers. But the truth of the matter is that we have to make sure that we continue to have a strong base in the sciences and engineering if we're going to remain the most innovative economy in the world. But as somebody who studied humanities himself, I think it's extremely important as well.
That was former President Barack Obama explaining why he feels the U.S. needs more engineers and scientists. His reasoning? Because we need to remain the most innovative economy in the world. However, he also states that the humanities are equally as important. After all, President Obama studied law, which falls under humanities. It's just that, in his words, we have to make sure that we continue to have a strong base in the sciences and engineering if we're going to remain the most innovative economy in the world. Innovation is defined as a new idea, method, or device, or the introduction of something new. For some examples of innovation that were made possible because of STEM or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, just look around you. Electricity, dishwashers, cars, trains, smartphones, computers, the internet, microwaves, televisions. The list goes on and on.
When I think of culture, what do I think of? I think you visit other countries and then they show you what it is that makes them them and not you. And in almost every case you do this, you are looking at their art. You are looking at their architecture. You are looking at aspects of their civilization that has been empowered by science and engineering. So am I biased? I don't know. But what I do know is if there is a country without art, that's not a country I want to live in. If there's a country without science, you're living in a cave. We measure the success of a civilization by how well they treat their creative people.
That was Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a famous American astrophysicist, explaining why the arts are important. Dr. deGrasse Tyson's viewpoint is that art and literature are equally as important as math and science. When I think of places I want to visit, I think about the sights and attractions. I think of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Colosseum in Rome, the Great Wall of China in Beijing, the Taj Mahal in India, the Vatican in Italy. I think of the restaurants, art galleries, music scene, architecture, public parks and gardens. Some of the most visited cities in the world are Paris, London, Singapore, New York, Tokyo, and Milan. All of these places are known for having exciting art and cultural offerings. So now that you have some information about this TOEFL topic, it's time to practice. Remember, for the speaking portion of the TOEFL, you'll only have 45 to 60 seconds to speak. And in order to get a perfect score, you need to answer the question, speak clearly, speak loudly enough to be heard. Don't speak too fast, but don't take any long pauses either. And talk the entire time. So how would I answer this TOEFL question? I would say, I disagree with this statement because I can't live without the innovations that have been developed by students that have studied math and science. I could never willingly live without the modern conveniences like my cell phone or the internet. Don't get me wrong, art and literature are extremely important. Without art, there would be no actors, no movies, no music, no great architecture, no fashion. However, without math and science, how would I enjoy these things? How would I travel overseas without being able to hop on an airplane? What would movies be like without special effects? How could I enjoy music without my phone? So in summary, I disagree with the statement that it's more important for students to study art and literature than it is to study math and science. As the great astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson said, if there's a country without science, you're living in a cave. And I personally would never want to live in a cave. So there you have it. Notice how short of a time 45 to 60 seconds is. It took about 50 seconds for me to give that little speech. Study the information provided in this podcast. Write down what you would say if asked this question and time yourself. Practice until your speech sounds natural and you're able to say everything clearly. Use the information from this podcast and you'll be sure to ace any question related to this topic on the TOEFL. Make this a question you don't have to worry about for the TOEFL. See you next time on English with a Friend from New York.